Fireman line. Am I at the top?
I had this idea. I was sitting up on top of Bernal Heights, and a friend of mine is an energy consultant. He was telling me that 20% of energy is lost in transmission between the power plants where energy is produced and the consumer where it's used. And I was thinking about how great it would be if we could produce energy on location where it would be consumed. And I was looking at across the city, and I started thinking about food as energy. And I thought, we have this problem right now where the first time in history we're spending more energy producing our food than we're getting in return in the form of calories. So the solution I saw was to produce food on location where it would be consumed, to grow food in the backyard of the people who'd be eating it. Well, I had a mortgage brokerage, and I stopped doing that about a year ago. I decided I didn't want to sit behind the desk anymore. I didn't want that to be my life, me sitting behind this desk. So I decided to close the shop down. I took a year off, just trying to figure out what I like to do. And I started sailing a lot because I like sailing. I started to volunteer for Chris Shine, who teaches permaculture in the East Bay. I took his class, and I started volunteering at a place called Three Stone Hearth in Berkeley. It's a community-supported kitchen. First, we did some market testing. We had a test garden to make sure we could actually grow vegetables in the city in the marginal backyard. We started by putting up 50 flyers around town, and we started getting calls, and then we noticed that we were getting these emails from people, where one email would lead to another, to another, to another, and we realized that thousands of people were emailing each other about what we were doing, and the calls that started coming in, we started looking at backyards, installing gardens, and we sold, I think, probably about 50 gardens by the end of this month, but it all started just putting up 50 flyers. Well, I grew up in Sacramento. We had almost an acre. We grew vegetables, we had fruit trees, we had animals like chickens and ducks and geese. So I grew up, I loved gardening with my grandpa. The first thing we'd do is I'd say hi, give him a hug, we'd go out in the backyard and start gardening. And even when I was growing up, I used to like to sleep in the garden, so I'd wake up and it'd be the hot Sacramento sun, and I didn't have to open my eyes. I could just kind of smell the tomatoes and reach up and start feeling around for my breakfast.
A long time ago, I had a big vegetable garden. I realized it was a lot of work, and so I only did it for really 1 or 2 seasons, and I was working full-time as a nurse, and I just couldn't take care of it. And so when I read Trevor's article, I realized that this would be something I would have help with. I mean, I want to help take care of it, but it's not going to be my full responsibility.
It takes us 1 day to install a garden. After they install it, the farmer comes by once a week, and they plant seeds, they grow vegetables, and they harvest a box of vegetables for the family that lives there. And through our CSO program, we also sell boxes of vegetables to other families in the neighborhood.
What kind of nut is it?
It's like a Marcona almond now.
Yeah. So you gotta like bolt.
We see this as a model to basically produce local, sustainable food for people all over the world. I really believe a business is a way to make a difference, and I felt like we could have done this as a nonprofit, but that's not something I had experience with, and I felt a lot more interested in making a difference by having a business. I feel like business is a successful model. We know it works. We're looking to pay people a living wage. So right now we're starting out just paying around $10 an hour, but it looks like we could probably pay people up to about $20 an hour soon.
I was selling hot dogs for a while on Union Square for about 8 months, and
Entryway path is
after that job I needed something completely different. So this is about as different as it gets. Oh, a long time ago I remember a friend of mine went to Cuba, and they were like, man, it's crazy, everybody's got rooftop gardens in Cuba. I think it was like 7, 8 years ago. And now this sort of stuff's getting a lot of traction in local newspapers. And I think there's a lot of interest. Without the dictatorship, the gardens are still here, so that's the best of 2 worlds.